Hello, hello! Welcome back to another XeroLinux video. In this one, it's gonna be hopefully a quick one. No camera, no fancy introduction, no nothing. So, it's going to be all about the XeroLinux toolkit. Yep, I felt like refreshing the old video with a new one and updating you on all the changes and things I have done, all the updates that it received and stuff like that. All right, without further ado, let's begin. So basically, the XeroLinux toolkit you can use on either XeroLinux or Vanilla Arch. Nowhere else. If you try to use it on something like CachyOS or Endeavor or the old Arco Linux or whatever, any other Arch-based distro, it will not work. I've added blockers to stop it from working on anything else, simply because, well, to avoid any potential issues and to avoid you from stopping you from breaking your system. So on Vanilla Arch, it works, and on XeroLinux, it works. I'm not here to support a million different other distros. So with that disclaimer out of the way you can install it, it's in the wiki. I'm gonna link to the wiki in the description below. But basically, the way you get it on Vanilla Arch is by copying and pasting in terminal and let it run, do its thing. What this will do on Vanilla Arch, that is, it will add the XeroLinux and the chaotic AUR repos in order for it to run correctly, and then install itself. Okay? On XeroLinux, it's included out of the box. So if you donate and grab any of the two available ISOs right now, KDE or GNOME, it's available out of the box, so you don't need to do that. And it will be updated as I add new features. Also, a mini disclaimer that use this video as a base, but not as an end all be all, because features are subject to change with time, of course. Let me quit out of that. And I'm demonstrating this on Hyperland because it's the only Vanilla Arch based install I have in my VM. So as you can see, you will get initial information up top under the logo. It will tell you which AUR helper was detected on the system. I use Peru because I like it and it's written in Rust. But when you run the command to install the toolkit, it's going to ask you which AUR helper do you prefer. You can select Yay or Peru. I'm not going to judge you for selecting either or, but there you go. So Peru is installed, and it's going to detect what distro you're running on. Why? Well, simply because if you're running this on XeroLinux, there are some options that will be hidden that are only applicable on Vanilla Arch. And you're going to see that when we go through the options. And here, you're going to see which version it is. I added this line because for troubleshooting, if you encounter any issues, I will be asking you which version you are running so we are on the same page. So this is for troubleshooting purposes only. And of course, I added credits where credits due. So thank you to Tony Dio, who has helped me refactor the toolkit, add the options where the feature where it hides options that are not applicable. And shout out to Smoke for testing. All right. So as you can see, you're going to be welcomed with your username, of course. Fine touches, right? So option 1, system setup. And when you select that, you're going to see activate GitHub Repositories, install third-party GUI, TUI package managers. Okay, the first option is labeled Vanilla Arch. So that means if you run this on XeroLinux, this option will be hidden. You will only see install third-party GUI, TUI package managers. You get the idea? All right. So we're on the same page. So, of course, you hit number 1. It's going to activate the repositories. Okay, skipping. Okay, already done. Install third-party GUI package managers. Okay, so you have a choice between Octopi, Packseek, GUI, Warehouse to manage all your Flatpaks, Flatseal, well, to manage Flatpak permissions, which you don't need to do because on KDE, you already have those settings within the KDE settings panel. But other desktop environments and window manager, you will need Flatsteel to manage those permissions. Easy Flatpak is a front-end store for Flatpaks. So as you can see up top, space to select, enter to make it so. So, or escape to go back. So if you want to select multiple ones, you can hit space and then hit enter. So now we're not going to do anything. No package is selected, returning to main menu. Now, update will run my custom updater script. Update protocol ready. Execute. Hit enter for yes. It's going to check for updates in case there are any. And this script supports native Pacman packages, AUR packages, Flatpaks, firmware, Rust up, and that's it. Basically, so it supports all these different package managers all in one. Flatpak Node Online. Sync app containers now. You hit yes, nothing to do, and so on and so forth. So I'm going to click Control-C to go back to main menu. You can go back to the main menu using the Control-C command. Option I, download latest official Arch Linux ISO. I'm very proud of this one. You hit I, you hit enter, and it's going to tell you which ISO is available online from the arch.org website. So I'm not going to download anything here, but when you hit enter, it's going to begin the download with a nice little curl progress bar. Enable fingerprint, option F, enable fingerprint auth service, KDE only. Because I didn't enable that on KDE by default. The reason I didn't enable it is because not everyone has a laptop, and why enable something that is not suitable for everyone? So I decided to add it to the toolkit. It's just select option F, and it'll do that for you. Enable the service and all. Install LM Studio. It will basically install LM Studio for all your local LLMs. As for change parallel downloads value to faster installs, so set new value, restore from backup, return to main menu. When you select opt to set a new value, what it will do is create a backup of your pacman.conf, then set the value. So if you set it to something that didn't work for you, you can always restore from backup. So it will also tell you what it is set to right now. As you can see, it's set to 6 already, so I don't need to do anything. So I'll go back to main menu. As for option 2, this is very important. Option 1 is GPU drivers. For all of you Intel and AMD users, iGPU or DGPU, you don't need to install anything. But the reason I put it under drivers is because it will include stuff like AMD VLK, all the media codecs for Intel, AV1 codecs and whatnot. So I labeled it under drivers. But if you want to use those, you select option 1. As for NVIDIA users, this is where it becomes a little bit complex. So you select option 1. It will run INXI-G, tell you what GPU you have. And since we are in a VM, it's going to tell you none. But let's say, for the sake of it, you have a single. And when you select D, it's for hybrids. So it will install Intel and NVIDIA drivers, Intel codecs and NVIDIA drivers. In case of AMD and NVIDIA, it's going to install the AMD VLK plus NVIDIA drivers. So it's just that. So let's say we select single, and you have an NVIDIA. You type NVIDIA. Then it's going to prompt you which ones do you want. So in case of anything prior to RTX card, you select the closed source. Closed source will be discontinued, I think, when we reach version 580, as per NVIDIA's latest announcement. But until then, use the closed source drivers. If you have the RTX and onwards, so basically all RTX cards, Turing Plus, you select the open kernel modules ones, and especially for 50 series. For 50 series, only the open kernel modules ones will work. So let's say we select the closed ones. It's going to go ahead and install the drivers, inject all the necessary modules, and run update mkinit cpio and update grub. Printer drivers, like it says on the tin, some essential tools for some printers. Not all of them, mind you. Maybe yours is not supported by those drivers. I selected the ones that are available on the main Arch repositories, not the AUR.
So tail scale, everybody knows what tail scale is. The reason I have it here is because they actually don't support XeroLinux. So if you try to install the vanilla ones, it's gonna fail. I created a patch for it to work on XeroLinux. Basically, I just added XeroLinux to the list of supported distros. Asus ROG laptop tools by Asus Linux team. Those are just hybrid Asus Prime related tools and tools to manage the RGB on Asus laptops. As for Arch kernel manager tool, thanks to Eric Dubois from Arco Linux, I just used his tool. It's just a kernel manager. I don't recommend you mess a lot with kernels unless you know what you're doing. I don't mess with custom kernels. I stick to the default one. I don't have any reason to. So, but it's up to you if you want to. We're gonna go back. We're gonna select option number 3. It's just Docker, DistroBox, and Podman. You select which one you want to install, and you're up and running. As for option 4, it's customization. Okay. A lot of these options you're not going to see on XeroLinux if you're running the toolkit on XeroLinux because they're already applied. But if you are on vanilla Arch, you can set up fast fetch. You know what fast fetch is, everybody knows. Set up ZSH and as an all-in-one. What I mean by all-in-one is going to install ZSH, all the plugins from source, and oh my ZSH. Oh my Posh, sorry. But not all the plugins are enabled. They're going to be pulled from source, but only a few will be enabled. It's up to you to configure which ones you want to add and which ones you don't. Install a save desktop config tool. It's a recent discovery. It's a tool that will allow you to save your desktop config, basically your rising, your .config folder, and your .local folder. That being said, let's go to additional options. Additional options, change grub theme. It will offer you around 8 or 10 different grub themes that we have created throughout the years for XeroLinux. You can apply it on vanilla Arch should you want to. The lay-in rice basically is the default rice of XeroLinux with a few alterations just to make it suitable for non-XeroLinux distros. You can turn your vanilla Arch plus KDE into XeroLinux, basically similar to XeroLinux. Install more Plasma wallpapers. Of course, the title says it all. It's around 700 wallpapers, totaling 1.2 gigs. Lay-in GTK4 patch and update. So I recommend running this option at least once every 3 to 4 months, just to get the latest changes of the lay-in theme, GTK and KDE. Apply XeroLinux GNOME settings, basically the same thing as option X, but for GNOME, since XeroLinux has a GNOME edition. So that was explained. 5 is gaming. Okay, gaming is very straightforward. Steam plus tools. It will install Steam, Mango HUD, game mode, and all the necessary tools for Steam to work correctly. Game controllers, basically, it will offer you between DualSense, DualShock, and Xbox One. You select which one you want, and it will install them from the AUR, not Arch repositories, so it will have to compile them unless they're available on the Chaotic AUR. I don't know. I haven't tried because I don't have any controllers. LACT is for overclocking your GPU, be it AMD or Intel. AMD or NVIDIA. As for extras, I labeled them Flatpacks because those are Flatpacks coming from FlatHub as per the request of the developers of those tools. That's why I added the note in red. Flatpaks equals official, native equals unofficial. I recommend installing the Flatpak versions. Otherwise, don't go complaining to the developers if you're running the native versions. The native versions are completely unsupported by the developers. You've been warned, then do whatever you wish. Before last, option 6. This is the curated package manager. It's basically a list of curated packages organized under sections, basically web browsers, development tools, photo 3D, music, audio tools, and so on and so forth. The only one I need to mention is Dainci Resolve. Dainci Resolve is a separate script all on its own. It's not embedded in the toolkit. It's pulling it from online because I have to keep it up to date. But basically what this will do, it will ask you which one do you want. You want the free limited version or the Resolve Studio. Should you own a license, you need to own a license to be able to use that one. How you get your license is up to you, but you select which one. It's going to download it, but not only that, it's going to prompt you after installation what GPU you have. In case of NVIDIA, it will install CUDA. In case of AMD, it will install ROCm and configure ROCm and do the whole patching in order for you to be able to use Dainci Resolve. To get out of this menu, I didn't add an exit. So all you have to do is Control-C to exit out of this menu. Last option is very interesting. The last option is basically the troubleshooting area. Main troubleshooting sections are install and activate Firewall D, because on XeroLinux and Arch install, you don't get firewall. You install it from here. Clear Pacman cache, because as time goes by and you keep updating and updating and updating and updating, it will accumulate a lot of packages inside your Pacman cache, and it would end up using like 50 gigs. To clear that, you should just select option 2. Unlock Pacman DB. Sometimes, for whatever reason, Pacman gets stuck. You close the window and you try to update again. It tells you cannot update because the updater is stuck. So in order to unlock it, you select option 3. Activate v4l2 loopback is for just if you're using OBS Virtual Cam. If you want to use OBS Virtual Cam, this is how you activate it. Install and enable Plasma X11 session. This option is very interesting because recently XeroLinux no longer ships the X11 session out of the box. If you want to add it back, this is how you add it back. 6. Disable debug flag. This is for us developers. Ignore it. Also, you remember the option where you could download the latest version of Arch ISO from the arch.org, archlinux.org. Well, this one will allow you to build, since they release one only at the beginning of every month. What if you want one up to date at the middle of the month or the end of the month? You won't find such an ISO, so you will be able to build it using this toolkit. All you have to do is select option A and it will do the rest for you. As for option F, GPGME no data database issue. Wow, difficult word. This one is very simple. In case you get that error, this is how you fix it. You select option F, it'll do the necessary to fix it, and you'll be up and running again, easy. Option S, it's in red for a reason. Because let's say you installed Vanilla Arch plus Vanilla KDE, you started rising it and whatever, and something goes wrong. You select option S, it will ask you if you are on XeroLinux. Of course you're not. You select no. And then it will reset Vanilla KDE back to Vanilla KDE. Basically, it will undo all your settings and it will revert it back to Vanilla. In case of XeroLinux, when you're asked if you're on XeroLinux, you select yes, and it's going to reset the rice back to factory XeroLinux settings. But there's a plus side to this one, because I update the package every now and again. By doing that, it's going to reset you back, and including any updates I might have pushed between the time you install XeroLinux and you reset it. You're going to get the latest. Option W I'm not going to talk about because it's just a guide. It will open your web browser to a guide where it shows you how to install Waydroid. I didn't automate it because there's things that you have to do manually. V, in case you're running Arch or XeroLinux in a VM, you install those. Those are necessary. Update Arch mirror list. Well, the option M and G are the most important ones. Those are the most used ones because, as we know, Arch sometimes is out of sync. The mirror list is out of sync, as well as the keys. So with those two options, you can fix those issues. And option M will include chaotic AUR mirror list if you opt to do it. And that's it. That's the XeroLinux toolkit. I hope this video was not too long. It explained everything, but keep in mind that this toolkit is subject to change every day, every hour. I don't know what ideas I will come up with in due time, but yeah, there you go. Let me know in the comments below if you have any issues or whatever, or join our Discord, link in the description again.
and we can chat over there if you want features added to the toolkit, and we'll add them together. Let's make this toolkit beneficial to everyone. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and ring the bell to get notified, as usual. And if you feel like and are able to support the project financially, of course, links in the description below. And grab yourself a copy of XeroLinux if you can. See ya.